Right, what we're going to do next is we're going to create a title block. So a title block is basically an information part of your drawing. Okay, so if we um, have a drawing, you can put a small box on your drawing that tells us all about the information on this drawing. So this could work on big drawings or even small drawings. It could also be written below, okay, just like this one, or it could be written onto the sides. Some title blocks are also written in a small corner, okay, but it has pieces or information on it, just like a logo or a stamp, like a sheet number, a design in title for this one. So we're going to create a title block for our 8.5 by 11, and we're going to draw it for a portrait type of drawing where the paper is standing up and where our title block is going to be down here below. Okay. So you guys are going to be in using Google Drive, and your drawing should be in the engineering folder. I am not using my Google Drive right now. I'm using Autocad Web. But you must use your Google Drive and save yours in your engineering folder. Okay, so we're going to start a new drawing. And on this new drawing, we're going to pull this down and we're going to select Imperial. Imperial is when you want to work with inches. So we're going to click on that one and it should start a new drawing based on imperial or inches. Okay, so we're going to immediately um, do a save as, and we're going to check whether you are in your Google Drive folder. I am not using Google Drive, but you must, and you should be in your engineering folder. We're going to name this T block, okay, and we're going to name this T block 1, okay, and then we're going to click save. Now, before we start any further, when you are moving your fingers on your trackpad or you're using a mouse, you can see that there are numbers here that's constantly changing on the lower right, okay? Because each location in AutoCAD has a coordinate, okay? A coordinate is basically x comma y. So this lower left corner over here usually is your 0, 0, okay? So if we wanted to start at the very, very sort of center of AutoCAD, we can simply click on a line. And instead of clicking, okay, we're going to type down here. So click on the box here and then type in 0, comma 0 and then press enter. And you can see now where the 0, 0 is, okay? And then simply click on anywhere, okay? Press escape and we're going to like pan. And this is 0, 0 over here. This is where AutoCAD's center is, okay? So if we wanted to start from 0, 0 and go to the left, we have to put in a negative x. So we're going to click line again. And then here we're going to type in 0, comma 0, press enter. Okay. And then we're not going to use our mouse. So you can see my mouse is not using, but we're going to put in a negative, let's say 1000. Yeah, over here, negative 1000, comma, and then we're going to put in a positive 1000 and then press enter. Okay, so you can see now AutoCAD just went into this one. I'm going to press escape because this one is going to the left, negative 1000, and then going up, positive 1000. So each point in AutoCAD has a specific designation or coordinate, and you can use that to start your drawings at a particular location. Okay, so we're going to erase now these two lines. And the first thing that we're going to do, press enter to erase, is we're going to make a rectangle and we're going to start at 0, 0. So I'm not going to click on 0, 0. I'm going to type in on this small box, the command line, 0, comma 0, press enter. And then now my corner starts here in 0, 0. I'm going to drag, but I am not going to click. I'm going to type in the size of my paper, which is 8.5, so 8.5, comma, or press tab, okay, and then 11, press enter. Okay, and where's the paper? Well, it's over here. It's very, very small because this is you can see this one is in like 124 feet. Okay, so we're gonna just zoom in. Basically, the corner of our paper 00, and then the upper right corner is basically 8.5 inches. You can see here. You can see this one will change in 8.5 inches. Okay, and then upwards of 11 inches. So this is going to be, this point here is going to be 8.5 by 11. So this is how to set up your paper. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a margin. Okay, and we want it to be an inch on the left side and half an inch on all the rest. Okay, so to do that, we are going to simply use the offset command. Okay, so the offset command is over here. We're going to specify the distance, which is going to be 1 inch. So 1, enter, and we're going to click on this line, and then we're going to not click outside but click inside. So make sure you're clicking inside. Okay, now that is already 1 inch on this left side, but this one, the top right and bottom, is also 1 inch, and we don't want it to be 1 inch. We want it to be only half an inch. So we're going to escape and then simply use our grips. We're going to click this one, and then on the bottom there's going to be this long grip, and if I click on that one I can drag this one down or up. Okay, so we're going to drag it down, and we are going to type in zero point 0.5 down here. Okay, so we're going to drag and we're going to type in 0.5 up, zero point 0.5, and you don't need to go down here. You can simply start typing as soon as you go down or pull the grip down. You can start typing 0.5 and press enter, and there you go. You see the same thing up here. Go up 0.5, and you can go as far as you want. It's not going to go there because you're simply going to type in a 0.5 on your on the bottom of your screen. Okay, so 0.5, press enter, and then this one, the right side, 0.5, enter. There you go. So that's going to be the margin of our we're drawing. And why do you want it 1 inch on this left side? Well, typically when you do a drawing, you sometimes put them on binders or staple the left side, and that's why you have a wider part here. Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our stamp. At this time, we're going to put it on this left corner or inside the margin area. So we're going to go to our blocks, and we're going to select browse for blocks, and we're going to select on our stamp, whatever the name is of your stamp. Make sure you click and then click insert. Okay, and then you're going to click anywhere first, and it will zoom out until you can see your stamp, and simply uh, position it inside the margin area and click again, and then go back to your zoom by scrolling or zooming in your trackpad. Okay, and then we're going to move that. I'm going to click move here, select your stamp, press enter, and then move that under this corner. Okay, now this stamp is a little big because it is around 2 inches, and we want our information sheet to only be around 1.5. Okay, so from this bottom we want to be 1.5. In fact, we should probably just do a line right now, line, and we want to start 1.5 from this corner. Okay, so we can start from this corner and then go up 1.5. Okay, but if you want to go back 1.5, if you have your endpoint snap selected, it will always go back here. So make sure that you turn this O snap off by clicking on it, and you can see it's not blue anymore. So you simply go up, you simply go up, and you should not see any box here, because if you see a box, that means you're going to select endpoint. So simply go up while your O snap is off, and then type in your 1.5, enter. Okay, there you go. And then we're going to go into perpendicular here. So we're going to turn on again our snap and make sure that perpendicular is on. Okay, so perpendicular is here. Make sure there's a check here. Okay, click again the triangle, make sure it's checked. Yes, it is. So close that, and then we're going to point and go here to perpendicular point and then click. There you go. So as you can see now, press escape. You can see now that this is too big. Okay, and so we want to do a scale. So modify, and we're going to use scale. We're going to select our title block, press enter or this check mark here on the right lower right corner. And then we're going to pick on this corner here, and then we're going to type in the scale factor. Okay, we want it to be zero point 0.7 or 70%. Okay, press enter, and there you go. So it's now um, around a quarter smaller or 30% smaller. And if it's not centered here, you can just simply go move and then move that um, up or down, left or right, wherever you please, as long as you can center it. Okay, so that's the next thing that you're going to do before we move on into putting in some other information on your title block. Before I forget, we have an extra line here that we don't see, but we can just click erase and then make a box here, and then you will have been select you will have selected the line here, and you can see that there's like one selected, one found, right? Because there's a line that we did here, and that's what we're going to do first. We're going to erase that line and press or click check, and there's no more line there. Okay. Next, we want to also have a box here. Okay, that is also 1.5 inches from here. So you can do another line, and we're going to select from endpoint. We're going to go to the right, but make sure that the endpoint is not there. Okay, so uh, go to the right and then type 1, enter. Okay, oh, not 1 enter, but 1.5. So I'm going to simply undo here. Okay, and then line, select the corner, move to the right, type in 1.5, enter, and then go up to perpendicular. Okay, so um, is perpendicular on? Yeah, it is. Okay, there you go. Click, and then go back to your erase, and then select this box here because there's an extra line that we did there. Okay, and you can see again it says one found. Okay, simply click check, and then the line is erased. Okay, so let's move on to this other corner. On this other corner, we usually put in a sheet number. Okay, and that sheet number is going to be like 0, 1. If you expect to do at lower than 100 pieces of drawing, so we're going to simply do 0, 1. Some drawings are labeled 0, 0, 1 because there's like less than 1,000 but more than 100. So we're going to put in 0, 0, 1 here. I mean 0, 1 here, and we're simply going to annotate using a text. Okay, and we're going to click the start. We'll just put it here somewhere. Okay, and then make a box, and then we're going to change the size of this one. This is a foot, so we don't want it to be a foot. We want it to be zero point 0.5 of an inch, so zero point 0.5, enter. Okay, and then we're going to put in here 0, 1. You don't see it, okay, but there's 0, 1 there, right? 0, 1, and then press check mark. Okay, and then move this enter to somewhere here. But before we finalize that one, we have to change its justification. When you click on the text, you can see that you have a corner here, okay? And then if you go to property, the justification on this one is justified in the top left. So if we select a text and click on property, we can change the justification, and we want it to be middle center. So when you click that, okay, you can see now that the box is now here in the middle center. So that is now the new justification, and that's what we want. Okay. Now let's do another box here, but this time we only want it to be 1 inch. So we're going to again click line, click here, go to the left, okay, and then type 1, enter, and then go down on a perpendicular, click, okay, and then let's do an erase that extra line that we did on top. Press enter or check here, and then you have now your sheet number. That's 1/2 inch. That's the first drawing that we're going to do using this title block. But I simply don't like this style of text, so we're going to change it next. So to change this style of text, you have to change the font of this letter by double clicking, and you will see the different style of or fonts that you can use after you have highlighted this whole thing. So I'm going to just triple click 1, 2, 3, and everything is highlighted. Okay. And the styles of text are going to be down here, or the different fonts are going to be down here. So if you wanted it to look like, let's say, Times New Roman, you can select that. And you won't see it changing until you click check mark. And there you have it. Okay. So if you do want to change it any type of way you want, then that's simply again double click. Oh, double click. This will appear. You have to highlight by triple clicking 1, 2, 3. Or you can select the whole thing. I always just triple click 1, 2, 3, and then change that into a different kind of font style, Swiss, um, and then click OK, and then you won't see the final style of font until you have clicked the check mark. Okay. A title block conveys information about the drawing. So we're going to create multiple text here simply by copying this. So we're going to do a copy, and select this, press check, and we're going to click here, and then we're going to select or put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies. Oh, there you go, 5 copies. And we're going to change the height later. So we're going to click this, and on the very first one, it will be the title. So we're going to again double click and then triple click 1, 2, 3, and then type in title. Make sure it is all capital, and then click OK. The next one is we're going to put in the class name for our class. So if it's engineering 9, we're going to just put in engineering space 9. And then if you have a box like this, you can simply change it later. Oh, I made a mistake. Again, double click, triple click, and then engineering space 9, and just click the check mark. And once you have it back, you can click on it only once, and then this little triangle here will allow us to expand the box. There you go. Okay. The next one, double click. Oh, press escape. Double click and then triple click. 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to type in School of Engineering, and you're supposed to type it in all capitals. So you can press the caps lock key. School of Engineering and Sciences. Press the check mark. Click Engineering, and this little triangle here will allow us to expand until we only have one line of text. You might need to zoom out so you can expand even more. There you go. Okay. And then basically here we're going to double click and type in drawn by, and this is going to be colon. This is going to be your name. So put your name, complete name. Again, click and then expand the text box until you have only one line of text. So again, replace this with your name. And then lastly, okay, double click and triple click, and we're going to put in the date. Okay, and the date would be whatever date it is when you are doing this. So for example, the date when you're doing this is on the 13th, so 10/13/2023. Okay, and then you can simply, if you can't see the check mark here, you can simply click outside, and it's the same thing. Again, click on it and expand the text box. Okay. Now the title of this drawing will be different every single time, so we will leave it as title. but we want this to be the biggest, but we don't want it to be half an inch. So when I click on it and um, see that this is half an inch, I don't want to be half an inch, and probably I want it only to be a quarter. So let's try to change it here if we can. 1/4 inches. Let's enter. That's how it should be. Okay. And then the rest of these are supposed to be only 1/8. Okay. Not as big as a quarter, but half of it. So we're going to maybe select all of them all at once. And then over here, I will simply change it to 1/8. Press enter. And then there you have it. Okay. Then I will have to position it somewhere here. But before that, I will create divisions inside this area using lines. Before we continue, let us save. Okay. So again, save and wait for it to return back to save before you continue. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put drawn by on the very bottom over here at the same row as it says the date. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a division here. Okay. So this text is 1/8 in height. You can see it's 1/8. So we want to put a box here that can house, or that we can put the 1/8 inch tall text here. And to do that, we have to understand that on an inch, half means in the middle of an inch. So half inch is basically half of 1 inch. And half of a half is a quarter. And half of a quarter is an eighth. So if we do wanted to put a 1/8 um, text here, we can use a 1/4 inch spacing. Okay, and let's see how it looks like. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to do an offset. So offset here, and I am going to type in the distance as it says here on the bottom. So at the bottom, I'm going to put in 1/8, 1/4, I mean, and I'm going to select this line and point up and click again. Okay, now because the line I selected is a rectangle, that it will offset inward. So all I have to do is simply use trim, zoom in, and then trim this, and then trim this, and then the rest of them I will erase. There you go. And then press simply check mark over here. There you go. And if I try to put this on here by moving it, so I'm going to move, and I'm going to click this one here, enter, and try to put that here, it will fit, but it is kind of tight. So what we are going to do is we are going to make this wider by looking at again what is the next size bigger than an eighth. It will be 3/16. So what we're going to do here is we're going to erase this. Okay, and press check. And then we are going to do a offset, and this time we're going to type in 3/16, press enter, and then select this one and on top here. I made a mistake. So I'm going to erase. And we're going to do another offset. I think look at this one. 3/16 is actually lower or smaller than 1/4. We want it to be 5/16 or 3/8. I mean, okay, so offset, and let's do a 3/8, not 16, 3/8. Enter. Click this, and then click there, and then use the trim to trim the line here and here, and then use the erase tool to erase the rest, and then press check. There you go. Now we can move this object a little bit higher and middle. We're just gonna play it by looking at it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're gonna continue another offset. So we're going to offset, and again, we're going to accept 3/8. So we're simply going to press enter to accept 3/8 and then select this and go up. Okay. Um, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put this date here. So we're going to do move. I'm going to click on this date. Click check. And I want it to be in line with this text. So I don't want to simply play it by sight. I want to use INS, or what we call insertion. Um, here you go, insertion. So make sure that it's checked. Okay, and then we're going to click here, and it says insertion is in the middle. And then we're going to point here, and it's going to grab that insertion point, and then it's going to be all together inside on top of each other. Very confusing. We're going to simply now move, and then we're going to simply select one of the numbers because I know that that is the date that I wanted to move, and we're going to press check, and we're going to click anywhere here. Make sure you don't touch any object and simply go straight to the right. Now they are perfectly in line together now. It seems like there's more space here in the bottom than it is on the top, so we're going to select move and simply select both of them, press check mark, zoom in, and try to balance the top space and the bottom space. Okay. Now, this one is when I select this one, this text here, the justification is middle center. I want to move it to the right, or middle right. So I'm going to click that middle right, click there, and you can see the box now is here. So I can simply move that grid and move it a little bit here. Okay. And I want to change this to the middle left this time. So I'm going to press escape to unselect this, select this new, and then change this to middle left. And you can see the box is now here. Okay. So that whenever you type something, let's say you want to change this into your name, let's say I'm going to put in my last name only, or I'm going to put in my my initial, my first name, period, press enter, click check mark. Okay, and then let's expand the box. There you go. Whenever it becomes longer, this point here will stay in the same spot. It doesn't move. It will only move this way because you just change this into a middle left. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move this School of Engineering and Science over here. And we can click that and change it again to middle left. There you go. And then move this. And you want to click here so it's in line with the bottom text. And then you're going to use the move. And then simply move that up. Make sure you don't stray diagonal. You just want to move it vertically up. Try to balance it within the box. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to move this, and before that we want to change the justification to the middle right, and then move this and simply point it here, and then use the move command here, and then simply click this one, the insertion point here. You want to go and click insertion, and then you want to line it up with this other insertion here. So in this case, let's just do an eyeball it. There you go. Okay. Now we do want to separate these two words, so we can put in a line here, and we can also put in a line here. So we're just going to get our line, and we're going to simply select nearest. Nearest is somewhere here. I just can't find it right now. Here we go. Nearest. Nearest means attached to any point on that line. So I'm going to click here, and then you want to go perpendicular. So click that. My perpendicular is on. Check box. Line again. Okay. In nearest here, and then perpendicular down here. There you go. Okay. So press check mark, and then the last one is the title of this drawing, and we're going to put it here. we are not going to change its justification. We want it to be in the middle center. So click there and then simply move that here. Okay. Um, and whenever you change the text here, so let's say I double click and then put here a longer name, title of drawing, and click check mark. This text will always be centered according to where I put it. So I'm gonna expand the box. So click here, expand the box, and expand it until you see that it expanded. So as you can see, it is middle centered. So it's always going to be centered no matter what I do, depending on how many letters I put in for that text. Okay. So simply press escape and save your work. Okay. Again, if you are not happy with any of this text, you can click on this one, then double click, and then you can now change the style here. Again, you can select whatever suits your fancy. So if you like Times New Roman, simply click that and then click the check mark. Oh, you have to highlight. So double click and then you can highlight this whole thing and then you change this to the font that you like and then check mark. And then if it became two lines of text, simply select on it and expand again the box of text until you see that it's just one line of text. Okay, so you don't need to follow that style of text. Only if you want it that way, press escape. We're actually now done with our title block. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work with the different line thicknesses. So save your work. All right, so in a previous discussion, we talked about that in AutoCAD, we use colors to remember the different line weights or line thickness. So if we go to our colors 1 through 10, where number 1 is red, 2 is yellow, 3 is green, 4 is cyan, 5 is blue, 6 is magenta, 7 is black. Okay, and then 8 and 9 are gray, and then you're back to color 10, which is a variant of red, but they're not the same red. Now, color 7 is black only if you're drawing on a white surface. Okay, if you are drawing on a black surface, then that means that this color 7, which will turn into white, and that's what we see here in AutoCAD. This is all white, and this is color 7. So we can also see that if you want something thin, you just have to remember that color 1 or red is the thinnest of them all. And office or the standard line weights varies from one standard office to another. But let's adapt this. Okay, we're going to make a layer called color 1 and we're going to assign it 0.18 of a millimeter. So we're going to go here and we're going to go to layer. We're going to create a layer called color 1, which is red, color 1, and then select red. Okay, and later on we're going to change that to black and white. Just have to remember that every time we want to see a thin line, we have to use red. Okay, and then we're going to, we want a thin line. We want our thickest line, which is color 7 at 1.40. So we're going to go back here and we're going to create another layer called color 7 or white. So we're going to leave it as white. And then we're going to create another color, color 4, which is cyan, is 0.35. So going back here, we're going to go and click color 4, and we're going to change that to cyan. There you go. So what do we want what do we want, which lines we want to be thin? Well, first of all, we want everything to be, it's better to make everything change into a color red, so color 1, so everything is thin, and then decide, I just press escape, decide which one is going to be thick. So I want the borders to be thick, so I'm going to change that to color 7. I also want this to be thick, so I'm going to press escape and then select this and then change that to um, color 7. And oh, let's erase this. There's an extra line here I believe that we created, so we're going to just simply erase that. Okay, and then let's make these two lines here, this line and this line, also color 7. And you can always change that if you don't like it, and then press escape. And then I'm going to select this, all these other lines here, to be color 4 or cyan. There you go. Okay, so next we're going to go back to our layers, and we are going to select color red and assign it a line width. Okay, so the line width will be 0.13. For color 4 or cyan, we want it to be 0.35. So 6 cyan and 0.35. And then last, we want our color 7 or white, black or white is the same. It's 1.40. So click this one and change it to scroll down 1.40. Okay, and there you have it. Now let's save first, and let's see the effect of our color assignments on a preview.